Just in case any of you did not know, I do caption all of my videos. All you have to do is press that caption button, which is just below. It's a little CC box. They're all captioned, so if you need it, it's there. Well, hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Sophie. Gastroparesis is let's be honest, and there sadly isn't safe options when it comes to food. There are safer options, but these still come with consequences, for me at least anyway. I recently saw a nutritionist or dietitian. Is that a difference between the two? I don't know. But she actually made quite a lot of sense in what she said. Now, in my many years of gastroparesis, I have certainly been through my fair share of nutritionists, and they've basically told me what foods to avoid and that I can't eat anything besides water pretty much. This lady actually told me what I can eat to try and reduce symptoms. It's not a cure and it's still gonna come with some consequences, but it tries to reduce the symptoms whilst giving you a balanced diet, which is what I have really struggled with over the years. And whilst there are foods that do take longer to digest and therefore give more symptoms, it is all about having things in moderation. Another interesting thing that I learned from her was that different foods actually digest differently when eaten together than eaten alone. Mind blown. Let me give you an example. Bananas. I do love me a good banana. However, bananas do have a lot of fibre in, and whilst this is good for your body, fibre is harder to break down, especially with gastroparesis. So when you eat them alone, they take longer to digest and therefore can give more pain, more nausea, and even lead to constipation. However, if you add some almonds into the mix, the two combined digest completely differently and are then actually really good for you. Almonds can actually help aid digestion. Bet you didn't know that one. A lot of nutritionists have told me to avoid fresh fruits where possible because of the sugar in them, and they take longer to digest in terms of breaking down that sugar, and because of our stomach they sit there for longer and they can rot, and they can even lead to stomach infections. And trust me, I've been there. It ain't pleasant, it hurts, and it stinks because it gives you really bad wind that it makes the people in the car want to clear out because it smells so bad. Sorry mum and dad. But if you add a hard-boiled egg with that fresh fruit, bam! Different story altogether. Something to do with the protein in the egg and the fruit. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a nutritionist, I don't know the in-depth reasoning for these things, and I know that when you look up online, whilst it does tell you certain things, some of the things on there will vary for people with gastroparesis because of the rate our body digests at anyway, but it's definitely worth asking your nutritionist. And obviously everybody is different, every person reacts to things differently. I used to have safe options, now I don't, maybe someone still does. But even if it helps just a little bit, every little helps. As the price. Yeah, that was sad. And if you don't live in the UK, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But who remembers that advert? Was it still on? I don't really watch TV anymore. Now, there are still things that are better to avoid just because they don't digest very well. I was told to avoid peanuts still and rather stick to tree nuts like almonds, cashews, walnuts, because they can actually help aid digestion, and that's obviously a good thing because then that means less symptoms, we hope. And things like fresh fruit or raw vegetables, obviously if you can blend it, great, you've done half the work for your stomach, and then your stomach should have absolutely no excuse. However, it still does what it wants anyway. But if you don't want it blended or you want it, cook it, it's going to digest quicker. Now, the one thing that I have always been told by my mum, by my doctors, by my gastroparesis specialists, by like literally everyone, is that you should have small meals, little and often. Everyone is actually supposed to do this. You're supposed to have 6 smaller meals rather than 3 larger meals, but I mean, ain't nobody got time for that, so everyone does it the wrong way basically. And there's 2 reasons for, particularly in gastroparesis, why you should do this. The first one is, if you give your stomach a huge meal to try and digest, it basically goes, oh, what do I do with food? Like, I can't even speak because my body's just like, what big meal? No. Basically, it just makes your stomach go into complete like, oh my god, how do I digest this all? And it just spasms. And the second reason for this is because by eating little bits of food regularly actually helps to speed up your metabolism, because it encourages digestion. So little and often is the key for anyone in life, but particularly if you have gastroparesis, and that one you will see a difference, because the more you eat, the more pain you're going to be in, or the more you're going to throw up, or the more likely you are to throw up. Yes, gastroparesis has a mind of its own, and some days it will just do it even at the smell of food. But you can try and help encourage it, and if you're encouraging your body, maybe over time, I'm hoping my body will be like, oh, I'm gonna do what that's telling me to do, and it might actually do the normal human thing. I can hope. For me personally, I don't have any gluten, just because that when I do have gluten, I do get very bloated, which in turn causes more pain. So I do tend to stick to a gluten-free diet. I also don't have dairy very much. Like, a bit of chocolate or a bit of cheese is okay, but I wouldn't go and have a glass of milk, or yogurt, ice cream, that kind of thing, because it just makes me feel really sick and unwell. And that is because gluten and dairy are actually very hard for the stomach to digest. In small amounts, yes, for some people. I am gluten intolerant, so for me personally, I can tolerate like a little bit in the sauce or something, but give me a sandwich or pasta, me and my body ain't going to be very happy basically. I also find red meats are harder to digest, and that is because they are fattier and they do just take longer for the body to digest, so I get more pain. So I tend to avoid it for the most part. But I tend to stick to chicken, turkey, tuna, salmon. They are all very good for your body. They are easy to digest, and they have oils and fats and proteins that your body needs, which is always very handy. Those for me are the easiest on my stomach most of the time. Sometimes, well, occasionally, whenever my body feels like being nice to me. So that is all for this video. I hope you found it helpful. There is no cure for gastroparesis. There isn't any particular food that's not going to cause some form of symptom, but it is just about controlling it in the best way that you can and trying to keep it under control. We all have bad days, we all have good days, everyone's different, but this is what helps me personally, and so I thought I would share it with you guys in case you're really struggling or you are new to gastroparesis. So if you did like this video or you found it helpful in any way at all, be sure to give it a big thumbs up so that I know. And if you're not already, I would love for you to click that subscribe button so that we can learn more together, share experiences, raise awareness, and just have fun really. I will leave all the links to my social media and my last video in the description box below. So come over, say hi, let's hang out, have some fun, and until next time, keep watching, stay strong and stay safe. Bye guys!